In keeping with this week's theme, we are doing a bracket of Pixar villains today. I am excited. There are a lot of great villains in Pixar movies. Okay, first is Otto, of course, from WALL-E, and then Lotso from Toy Story 3. Between the two, I think Lotso is the better villain. For sure. I love Toy Story 3, and it is my favorite Toy Story of the entire universe of Toy Story characters. Otto, to me, just isn't the best villain overall. I do love WALL-E, though. Okay, we're gonna go Lotso. Next is Gabby Gabby versus Evelyn Dever. I am one of those people that saw Evelyn Dever from a mile away. Evil Endeavor? Anybody? So she's not necessarily my favorite. I think Gabby Gabby is actually a great villain who has a really nice story to wrap up her plot. We're gonna go Gabby Gabby. Chick Hicks versus Stinky Pete. Okay. I think Chick Hicks is really annoying. I gotta be completely honest, but that's what makes him a good villain. I think Stinky Pete is significantly more of like a villainous villain, and I'm gonna go with him. He does some pretty evil stuff in his movie. Stinky Pete. Randall Boggs versus Ernesto de la Cruz. Now, I love Ernesto de la Cruz, and the last time I did this filter, he won by far. So today I'm gonna skip him just because I don't want to have the same winner as last time. So today we're gonna go Randall Boggs, okay? Sound good to everybody? Ernesto would have won automatically because I love him. Okay, Professor Z versus Al McWiggin. Now, I like Al as a villain. He's not the most iconic, but he will beat Professor Z any day of the week. I am not a fan of the Cars sequels, so we're gonna have to say goodbye to Professor Z. We're gonna go with Al. Next is Emperor Zurg versus Hopper. While I like Hopper and I think he's a great villain, Emperor Zurg is just like iconic in terms of Pixar villains, right? Zurg, all the way. Syndrome versus Henry J. Waternoose. Now, I like Henry Waternoose. He's a good villain, but Syndrome is significantly more iconic in my opinion. We're gonna go Syndrome. Chef Skinner versus Charles Muntz. Okay, now, I like Charles Muntz. I like Up. I think it's a great film, but Chef Skinner. That's all I have to say, but Chef Skinner. I love Chef Skinner. We're gonna go with him. Lotso versus Gabby Gabby. Battle of the Toy Story villains here. In my opinion, Lotso is just significantly better. We're gonna go Lotso. Stinky Pete versus Randall Boggs. Randall Boggs isn't necessarily one of my favorite villains, but he's okay. We're gonna go Stinky Pete today. Still sticking with Stinky Pete. Al versus Emperor Zurg. I think this one is obvious. We gotta go Emperor Zurg. Syndrome versus Chef Skinner. This one hurts, but I have an obvious favorite here. I'm gonna go Chef Skinner. Now, Lotso versus Stinky Pete. Again, going with my favorite Toy Story, I gotta go Lotso. Now, Emperor Zurg versus Chef Skinner. I have mixed feelings about this because I think Emperor Zurg is much more of an iconic villain, but I like Chef Skinner a little